on the Nigerian army, saying that troops have recorded success in the Niger Delta region as it dismantled over 43 illegal oil bunkering hubs, arrested 19 economic saboteurs, and confiscated over 260,000 litres of stolen product. Lieutenant Colonel Danjuma Jonah Danjuma, Acting Deputy Director, 6th Division Army Public Relations, in a statement on Sunday, said the troops also demolished over 11 vehicles, 21 boats, as well as 11 motorcycles used for stealing crude oil in the region. According to the statement, in River State, troops dismantled 7 active illegal refining hubs around the Besa and Kula General area of Akukutoro local government area, just as it confiscated over 60,000 litres of illegally refined automotive gas oil, AGO. It said that the troops also destroyed several illegal bunkering heavens, 3 fiber boats, 5 wooden boats, as well as recovered over 41,000 litres of stolen products. It said in Buguma creeks for active illegal refining hubs, 8 large cooking pots, massive receivers and reservoirs, 3 local boats stocked with over 12,500 litres of stolen products were destroyed. According to the statement, several wooden boats with over 10,000 litres of stolen products were intercepted around Odoagwa, Oka, Oza, West, Oibo, Obozo, and Ayama general areas. Okay, these are some of the successes of the Nigerian army. Now, how would you react to this particular story, Susie?
Well, for me, it's no longer a news. It's no longer a news because we've been on this for decades now, issue of oil bunkering, and also army coming up with ratios of how far they've gone in the fights against oil bunkering. Could it be that we need to be more creative in dealing with the oil bunkering, and how is possible we can achieve it? If it is only bombing and smashing the creeks, boats and all of that, like the information we have now, they've made success. Is that really a success on how to stop this thing? And what measure should be employed? Even if we go by, we have suggested over time that orientation should be carried out. Even if you carry orientations, the people doing this thing, sometimes we anchor it on those people who are on the downtrodden. But I was discussing with some persons that I discovered that it is not even the issue of the downtrodden going for oil bunkering because of poverty. There are those who are wealthy that are involved in it. If you go to the creeks and see the kind of gadgets, the structures that are laid in the creeks to see how to suck this oil from what it is in reality, this economic sabotage, you discover that even a poor man cannot be able to afford some of those gadgets. So it has to start from the top to the bottom, not just within the communities and all of that. So if we are looking at it from the angle of the poor people, they want to make ends meet. There are those who are already rich. You can even assume that even government officials. I remember when some of the local government chairmen in River State accused even the army themselves, Navy and Air Force, let me say military themselves, that they are involved in this particular disease. Because I don't see how even the smart, because even to that extent, I still see that destroying the creeks and also some of the things they are using to do all these things, it's also affecting our aquatic lives and all of that in our region. So how can we not stop it? How can we stop it? Is there any other way we can manage this particular situation? And I want to say that the only way for me, and which is not going to be possible, it's going to be utopian, to stop this oil bunkering is to show it when we see that there is no longer oil gushing out from the ground. Really? Because this will continue.
Why?
It's not going to end.
How do you think it's not going to end? With all of these measures that are being
It's not going to end. It's not going to end because those that are making money out of it, they've seen the value that is in it. It can't stop. Because the one we see along the street are just one in gallons. What are the ones that are going on vessels? The ones that are going on vessels. At the time, it was more like we are taking what belongs to us because we are being cheated. Measures were put in place vis-a-vis some of the parastatals that are put for us, like Niger Delta Ministry, that has been the defunct Niger Ministry now, and then the NDDC and all of that, to ameliorate the suffering of the people because of what's coming on the ground. But you discover that those institutions also hasn't solved any problem. People are still doing this.
You sound like one of those Nigerians who believe that this whole thing should be legalized.
No, not even legalizing it. The legalization of this should be that, like, people have cried out and all of that, activists and some of them have cried out that a law should be passed and so that people could also start. Like, we're talking about this issue now. In US, let me just make this in US because I'm going to come up in another topic. In US, we have over 132 refineries and all of that. 132 refineries. In Texas alone, we have 32 refineries in Texas. So if these young minds and old minds will kind of complement themselves to see how to establish some of these refineries and all of that, even coupled with state governments. In Angola, there are private refineries anchored with a community and even the state government.
We have a private refinery in Nigeria.
No, we have.
How is the government stopping private individuals from owning refineries? No,
the government. I'm not saying that government is stopping them from. I'm saying giving the waiver such that every individual, these people that are doing this thing now, they have certain things. These things are not just a primitive thing. You see the sophisticated scientific method that is used to suck this oil. These guys are not that trained, but I believe they also employ professionals who are in the oil industry.
You were talking about giving a waiver.
So when they give them this waiver, now, at the time, you allow every other person to actually do this refinery thing, you know, like Dangote have come up with its own.
That's why I asked,
now people now
government not allowing people?
They are not that they are not allowing them.
Okay, but you're saying they should allow
them. They should allow them.
Give
them, like federal government or state government could also empower these young minds. Like I have the idea of maybe going to steal this petroleum and all of that. These ones I will see along the move and all of that.
Or an example.
Let me just say, I have
okay,
as an example.
Okay,
you understand?
Okay.
So a government could also a kind of partner with me. You understand? But no government will want to do that, to partner with an individual to actually do some of the Dangote is succeeding today because of the fact that he has already been there. But people are also going again because they see it as a capitalist method of a kind of having a monopoly of all the markets.
Okay.
You understand? So that is it. So the situation we are talking about now is that what we see today is a phenomenon and it's been there long ago.
So you're saying that it should be legalized and be allowed to be operated.
People should have
the right
to actually
work.
You understand? Register their companies,
and
come up
allowed to work with it.
With it. You understand? Because even you can see that even these oil companies that you see here, you cannot even allegedly, that the professionals are coming to install all these things. Some of them are coming from there. So if they have,
why do you think that this oil companies that they have actually coming from there? Are there proofs or researchers that have proven that they are coming from there?
Well, the researcher will see it as an assumption, but automatically a community man will not have the strength or the capacity to actually go dig ground, insulate a host from a pipeline. You understand?
Yeah.
All those gadgets. At least I've seen whenever we go investigating and going to check as a youth activist from the community. Sometimes we go to the bush, the forest to see what these young people are doing. Sometimes that's what they discover at a Mohwa. A well. You know how many million hundreds of barrels crude oil that was inside the well. I wonder how they dug that place. Nobody even saw it. Though even if people from the community saw them. Okay. You couldn't come out to see.
In essence, you're saying that the government should recognize these places and legalize it.
They should legalize it.
And not see it as contraband.
You understand? Because now the way it is now is that we are destroying these things now. And destroying them is not a remedy to it. You're even destroying more lives.
And destroying the environment.
The environment itself.
Okay.
Because it can't stop. And people also, sometimes people die because of it. So if these people have this idea and all of that, so automatically you give a chunks of all these things and all of that so that they could not, they complement what we have already.
You know, anytime people say this thing that the government should legalize it, you know, and like she asked the question and you agreed that the government should go into these places and make it legal. I always wonder how that will be managed. Because let's go back to how they get this crude oil. They're stolen crude oil. So if you're saying the refining process and what they are doing should be legalized, how is that going to end up affecting the crude oil theft? The level of crude oil theft that we have in Nigeria is on the high. If you check the records, you'll be alarmed. The last time I checked it, I was screaming on air, you know. So how is that going to affect crude oil theft? Isn't it going to make it be on the high side? You know, increasing the rate of crude oil theft. How is that going to even help the country's economy?
It is going to help. See, automatically, you have a private station here now, and you pay tax, do you? You pay tax. And then you also employ some persons and all of that, and we are here today talking, and you pay them their salary, and they also pay tax through their salaries and all of that. However they deduct it, I do not know, but that is it. Now, if you bring these people to bear, and they are working for themselves, automatically, the wastages we have in the forest won't be there. The level of death, even though death is a necessary and which will come when it will come, but the way it goes, like we hear that, hey, there is explosion somewhere, there is going to be a reduction to that effect. Okay. Then the level of militarization, because these young people that are doing this, if you go to the forest, you see them carrying sophisticated weapons and all of that. Even though criminality is part of human nature, so to say, but you could reduce it to an extent vis-a-vis this kind of initiative we are talking about here now. And then there is also going to be monitoring. When you monitor a thing, you have a direction to where it will go to. You monitor these people, you understand, put them together, and still see how you can also give value to it.
Thank you for your thoughts on that one. Let's move on to the next story.